Good morning, America. This is Dr. Turi from the Arid Zone. And as always, this is my public statement. I am the first cosmic cop teaching humanity to understand and respect God, cosmic design, and Jesus' initial ministry, which happens to be, of course, astrology. All right, if you're patient, we're going to do the Universal Astro Tarot card of the day at the end of this video. Now, today is very, very, very difficult for me and for a very, very close friend. You know, life is definitely very, very hard. And as I always say to my student, you ain't gonna go to hell. This is it. There is always ways to make it paradise. That is, again, if you become cosmic conscious. And that's not an easy thing to do, especially if you've been indoctrinated. All right, so without further delay, let's go into today's newsletter. The title is King Charles Cancer Diagnosis Divulged and Howard's class on Taylor Swift. What the hell, excuse my French, is going on here? So let me go further. First of all, on January the 30th, I put my SOS to the World Deadly Window using Nostradamus 16th century divine astrology, which means I use quatrain, pretty obvious, and more obvious keywords to depict the type of news that's coming up. The last window was also, that's the one that's coming, so you've been prepared, you know now. And that's the one we just went through, okay? And usually this type of window brings very, very dramatic and deadly news. All right, so this being said, you have to be patient if you're a newcomer to my channel. You're not going to gain and raise your cosmic consciousness in 5 minutes, but you'll do it if you're patient. So you will have to take the time to read everything that I wrote, because I ain't going to read it for you. You're a big guy or a big girl, all right? And then digest it. That is, if you're curious enough and want to know all about God, cosmic design, and how he speaks to his children through the sign. Again, before discussing anything about Taylor Swift, the death of country singer Toby Keith, and King Charles cancer diagnosis, remember, all this took place during my last SOS to the World Deadly Window. I also received terrible news from Amy. He happens to be one of my best friends. And you can read on his Facebook page and see the beautiful picture of that wonderful little angel, Arden. That is his daughter. What he's saying is heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Okay. When a father and mother or entire family is undergoing such dramatic time, there is no way, there is no words in the English language to depict how terrible, how difficult, and how heavy it is. So my heart goes to them. Okay, upon receiving the bad news, I was quite devastated, of course, for him and his family, as just mentioned. Since only 2 months ago, I lost my own son, Remy, to cancer, brain cancer. And the endless emotional wounds that I experienced will never heal. Those guys are going through hell right now, like I did. So I know how they feel. Believe me, been there, done that. I know exactly the horrific feeling they are going through. And there is nothing more disastrous than the thought of losing a child. One thing is sure for now, we need tons of your prayer and a miracle to save Autumn's life. And since the future is nothing else than the reincarnation of the thoughts, I do believe magic does exist through the power of God. I am myself a cancer survivor, and I know how it feels to be directly affected by the disease. being a victim of the disease and lose a child because of the disease. But in all, those incredibly difficult experiences made me a much more stronger and compassionate human being. This is where my UFO predictive legacy becomes a curse, because my newsletter and my YouTube video prepared my readers and all my friends for dramatic and deadly news. But not all my friends read my warnings, watch my video, who are ready to understand God's cosmic design, speaking his will through the stars, all outside conventional religious teaching and whatever their priests tell them in their churches. I made my peace with God a long time ago, wondering why so many people, including myself, have to undergo tremendous physical and emotional pain, because there are no easy answers to understand what it means to be human and to be born on planet Earth and pay karma. Meantime, one can only wonder what type of karma Atom, an innocent, beautiful, loving 4-year-old child, must repay. God is indeed wonderful, yet let's face it, my friend, he does not seem to rationalize or even care with any of his children's sad reality. Why such a powerful entity, such a powerful divine force we call God, the creator of all things, good and bad, would kill innocent children through countless disease, endless war, and devastating natural disaster? That's a question. Can God exist without a devil? Can a day be without a night? Can a man reproduce without a woman? Can life exist without death? Well, those are questions that depict why we are symmetrical. The positive and negative endless dilemma working through humans designed by God himself, with 2 eyes, 2 sides of the brain, 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 feet, offering balance. There are answers to all those questions, but are you ready to hear them? That is the question. That's the medical aspect of my work, but you can see we are dual. We're made of the force of light and the force of darkness, or what I call the reptilius and the draconis. That is, if you watch my UFO videos and explain the reptilius effect. A date of birth and a name speaks volume to a soul doctor like me, because it encompasses the fate and the karma of the soul. And building cosmic consciousness is not for everyone, especially those who are scared or uncurious young soul, or those that are religiously indoctrinated and be told that Dr. Turi is evil. Far from being evil. Far from being evil, just the opposite. Emmy, Otan's dad, is a very special man. I know him well for years. In many of our discussions, he often asked me to teach him about the stars. And even only a few days ago, he was talking about learning all that stuff from me. So I proposed him to read all my books and to join the Cosmic Code and acknowledge his forecast. But again, like all my other friends, he's also a very busy guy. He's working really hard to take care of his family. And he surely did not do it. Maybe it's a good thing. The question and answers on karma are endless, but the general public is not ready or willing to hear about my cosmic wisdom on this topic, and neither are all my close friends. I wrote about Atham's case for my VIP on the Cosmic Code private website, because my VIPs are curious, able, and willing to hear the undiluted, very painful truth from me. What are the hidden purpose, the lessons to be learned, the karma to suffer and repay, and the tremendous pain associated with being a human being living on planet Earth? So many questions are often left without answers because of the fear of expanding into a new realm of consciousness and facing reality, or understanding and realizing what God is all about, or the devil for that matter. Humans are not comfortable where they are spiritually. They are very comfortable, where they are spiritually. And sometimes dramatic news and experiences are needed to gain the wisdom needed to deal with life and get closure and get a clue to what God and the devil is all about. I know this is a fact because at 74, this is what happened to me so many times. I'll be 74 on the 26th. I have learned a lot. I've cried a lot. I had a lot of pain. So that's why I am strong as a nail now. I've learned the hard way. There is no hell awaiting you upon your passing because you're already in hell on earth. That is in your fears, your lack of curiosity, your lack of cosmic wisdom, and your unpreparedness to what the stars are going to do to you or your family. Do not dream. Realize that life is very hard. In fact, life is a bitch, period. Excuse my French. Yet, the majority of humans would rather stay in the dark than to be prepared for an inescapable fate. And it's all written in light in the stars by God Himself. But how can you be prepared to deal with cancer, to fight for your life or the one of your child? How can you prepare for losing a child and still love God? Well, I did it my way, like you will have to do it your own way, my friend. W. Keith died during my last SOS to the World Deadly Window, and he wrote a song that I can relate very much so. And so are many of my friends who are undergoing right now. Terrible time. Those who are about to go. Luckily, as I said, I escaped cancers. I was able to beat it. Gods, there are miracles possible. My book explains it all. I can offer you many of the answers you are looking for, but I cannot force anyone to read it because knowledge is power and ignorance is evil. Or for sure, as soon as I see Amy, my good friend, he's going to get a copy of this book and other books that I have because I promised him. And it's just a matter of time before he reads them. You know, I always say it's only when the student is ready that the real gifted teacher will appear. And I'm going to be teaching you something about God and the devil in a minute. So stand by, keep listening. Now, a peek inside Howard's class on Taylor Swift. Oh my God, have mercy. In what a young world did I land on. When Professor Stephanie Bird opened the registration for a class on all things Taylor Swift, nearly 300 students signed up because they're curious. While studying Taylor music, lyrics, and art, those students have been posting on TikTok and getting lots of naysayers questioning just what a Howard-level professor see worth studying in Swiftie world. Well, in no way will any cosmic and conscious professor like Stephanie Bird offer her student the true reason as to why Taylor became such a famous person. You may own dozens of PhDs. There is a big difference between education, intelligence, or a gift, and still, like Neil deGrasse, be and forever be an educated idiot. It is an accident or God's celestial will for her to share the same exact dragon's head and tail as Elvis Presley and become like him, such a famous singer known all over the world. Do you think it's an accident? No, it is not. You would certainly learn much more by reading all about people who made history, including your own dragon for sure. There is the book, Show Me a Reader, I'll point out a winner. And remember what the father of medicine said, okay? You cannot call yourself a doctor if you did not study astrology. That is the father of medicine. And other of my students give me tons of feedback on learning astropsychology from me, or the astro tarot for that matter. Why is she such a great songwriter? Why is she so friendly, magnetic, and special? How God designed a unique celestial identity or divinity through his creation, or the stars that speak volume if you become a student and raise your own cosmic consciousness, my students. So let's talk a little bit more about her again. Okay. First of all, she's a Sagittarius, ruled and controlled by Jupiter, the biggest planet in our solar system. Jupiter is called the Great Benefic. The biggest planet in our solar system is a blessing. Karmically, wherever your Jupiter is located in your chart, you're going to be blessed. Mine is in Aquarius, astrology, computers, technology. That's why I learned to fly helicopters. That's why I love astrology. And since Aquarius or Uranus was UFOs, a magnet will attract a piece of wood. They love me. This is the sign of rules also anything and everything involving the future of humanity, the world of Aquarius. Her Jupiter is on the 8th house of corporate money, the money from her business, corporate endeavors, receiving the moon in Cancer, which makes you psychic, spiritual, caring and loving, a good natural mother, a good caring person. And then since Jupiter is close to our moon, that means living on foreign land or owning property on foreign ground. Jupiter, the Lord of Luck in the corporated house of money. Do you wonder why she's so wealthy? There you go. And why she's so happy and lucky? There you go. Jupiter. Go to drturi.com, click about and read about Jupiter, or you sign for that matter. It's there for you and it's free. Why is she so magnetic? Because Aquarius, ruled and controlled by Uranus, the planet of the geniuses. And how come she's such a great girl in terms of communication and writing? Because like me, like Dr. Turi, and I'm not saying this on an egocentric point of view, okay? I also wrote song. I was a recording artist, but it was not my calling. God wanted me to do something else. She, like me, was born with the head of the dragon in the 3rd house, which means she's a messenger of the God. She does it through her song, through her creativity, and I do it through the stars. That's the same difference, if you're smart enough to understand what I'm saying. On top of that, you can see she has a stellium in Scorpio and the ascendant in Scorpio, which was sex, magnetism, power. So she's not only electric and original like Elvis Presley, who grew up with television because Aquarius was television and being weird. He was weird and he grew up with television. He was born at the right time, at the right place with the right stars. That's why he became Elvis Presley. You want to read more? Again, the book Beyond the Secret will teach you more. Well, you could see in the affairs of love, she is a Leo tail. Okay, so she did suffer. Okay, in the affairs of love, she has a cross. The cross is on her heart, not only emotional, but also physical. Okay, you cannot push yourself to the extreme and expect not to put stress on your ticker. Okay. But since Jupiter is on the house of death, close to the moon, she probably will die at home, or maybe exploding like Lady Diana. Remember Lady Diana? She was born with the same dragon. Or the crocodile enter who died suddenly, sudden shocking release of energy. Lady Diana exploded in Paris, ruled by Leo in France, okay? And then the crocodile enter died in the ocean, being stung by a ray. He died suddenly, okay? The ray, when close to his heart, he died suddenly. This is to give you an idea of Taylor Swift. There is so much more about her. But I can only give you a glimpse of what you are getting for free. You want to know more? Meet me on Zoom and then be ready. All right, King Charles. Why the real Cancer is not divulged? Well, look at him. First of all, he's a Scorpio. He's got the tail of the dragon in Scorpio. Scorpio regulated the reproductive area of the human medical aspect of our astrology, or the prostate. Okay. Now, he's got some problems also, not just on the prostate area, but in the entire area. But this cancer has already progressed. Okay. Now, the head of the dragon, which is his luck, received the moon. The moon represents his mother, his domestic scenery, his upbringing, and he was raised with 10 gold spoon in the mouth. Thank you for this head of the dragon in Taurus. My good friend Amy, who just lost, is not lost, but who actually is fighting to against the loss of his child, is born also with the tail of the dragon in Scorpio. Okay, so he's born to build and lose, build and lose, build and lose. It's a dramatic type of dragon, which forced him to build the eagle to survive. And each time he dies, he rebirths into a much stronger, a wiser person like me. That is his fate. But I never taught him. I never did that. Hopefully, he will listen to this video and understand a little bit more about himself. In many, many ways, my good friend, King Charles is a very private person. His mental process is in Scorpio, so he regenerates with investigation. And that leads a lot of Scorpio, of course, to sign off for conspiracy stuff, because this is how they regenerate, through investigation. Now, with the tail of the dragon on his sun sign and on the tail, the trouble is on the reproductive area, period. Now, he's got also Saturn in Virgo, like me. The great malefic is on his guts, his intestines. That's why I contracted colon cancer, because the great malefic is in Virgo, and Virgo regulates the elimination principle, your guts. Okay? Now, not knowing better, of course, it can only stimulate cancer to go further. But he does not know about my universal blood transfusion. So the moon in Taurus on his dragon said is dignified. It's the best position for the moon to be, because it offers security, not only emotionally, but also financially. But the tail of the dragon is a very, very tough and dramatic type of life that the soul has to undergo. Kill the scorpion, the past, the guilt, negativity, the pain, the tears, the sadness, and build the supreme powerful ego. That is what both men, would it be my good friend Amy or Prince Charles, had to do. But Prince Charles had already a long life. In 1948. He's only 3 years older than me. Now, the idea is to understand that those stars were not created just for the sake of beauty. Okay, God created the stars in the heaven for more than the sake of beauty. He gave us to us for interpretation, so that we may lead a more productive life. Now, let's explain this business about God and the devil before doing your tarot, universal tarot. Remember? All right, let's look. Maybe you don't understand. God and the devil, the same guy. Let's talk about two brothers. Make it very simple. Two brothers. They are happy, they're healthy, and they both grow together and they graduate. Sad enough, one of the brothers had an accident, okay? And he cannot progress anymore like his brother and study more. So his brother becomes positive or God. And then by definition, brother becomes negative or the devil. But look what happened now. He broke his leg. Now look at the brother. He healed, and he gets better, and he gets the same education, and now he raises above his brother. So what happened? So he was here, the devil, negative, less educated. Now he's here because of what? Circumstances. He's supposed to go. Both of them. Okay, now you could do the same story again. Okay, so his brother healed, and he broke his head. An accident, he drive too fast, whatever. And then look at his brother. Now he was the devil, he was negative by definition, and now he becomes God. Okay? That's what God is all about. It's you who made an image of God. You like it or not, you know it or not. You have the power to create. You were made in the image of God. There is no difference between two images, what the Bible says. But don't expect the church to teach you that. Remember the church authority. Remember the Vatican. Remember all the popes were taught astrology by the Vatican Council. They don't want you to know that because this way they can control you. Remember, ultimately, knowledge is power, ignorance is evil. And that's why I'm here, to guide you, to teach you. Meantime, billions and trillions of dollars are being wasted to create more churches, more synagogue, more temple. And what happened at the end? Well, look what's happening in Israel and Hamas. An endless religious war, killing each other because they do not understand that God and the devil is the same guy. They're all stupid, stuck in their tank, on their negativity, on their stupidity, on the box of ignorance and indoctrination. All right, we've been patient, so let's do the universal Astro Tarot card. As you know, I do not know which card I'm going to take. You can see. Okay, I can even do that. Make sure you realize I'm real, Dr. Turi is real, and I'm putting a card. We're going to read this card, and it has a meaning that you're going to be touched by. I got Leo the lion. By watching me, this is what you get. Enlightenment. Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun means light. Leo was France and Italy. That's why it affects our language. And then we say that French are romantic. Italians are romantic. We are nations of lovers and artists. We are Leos, okay, under the sun. So this card means that today you get a little bit of an enlightenment, but there is so much more for you. Either you face me, you invest in me, or well, you can, because I'm still alive, or you get my book, or you become a student, you learn my classes, you learn all about what I have to offer before my number is up, because that's what God wants me to do. That's why God gave me a gift of youth. All the experience that I had to go through in the extraterrestrials rebuilding my atomic structure. 74, February 26. Hello, there is something going on here. And I don't go through cosmetic surgery because if I was doing this, you see it on my neck or you see it on my skin. What you see is real. That's it. All right, my good friend, we come at the end of this reading. Pay attention. Pay attention. Excuse me. Pay attention to the upcoming SOS to the world deadly window, because that's where more bad news is going to come. French Charles and my friend Emmy. Sad enough, all I can do is translate what it is. And Emmy always said, it is what it is. I remember that from his own mouth. It is what it is, Louis, when we had problems, when we were working together. Delay, frustration, things breaking down. But, he is one of these rare friends that stick on your heart. I can count on him. You can count on me anytime for anything. And now I have to feel the same pain because I'm so close to him. And when he told me over the phone, I could hear his voice. It was very depressing. I noticed it right away. I was so upset. I was so emotional. I was so insanely upset because I associated. I even said, oh my gosh, your son. I was so emotional. He doesn't have a son, he has 3 girls. But I was so emotional, I connected with my son that I just lost. That's what life is all about. So don't expect God to be on your side all the time. But he will do things in his own ways to make sure you grow, to make sure anything that you're going through has a very specific purpose so you can grow, because that's all we are doing, growing. And there is no death. It's just a passage to a different level of awareness, the transition to a higher level of consciousness. So don't be afraid of death. Remember, the future is the reincarnation of your thoughts. So be careful of the words that come out of your mouth. They've been processed through the powerful subconscious or God, where God resides, where he gets your heart beating and stop an infection. It's all out there. You need to read my book, Beyond the Secret. Understand. Go under your stars so you know how you stand. Understand under your stars and control your stars. Don't be a robot of your stars. You lose. All right. hey, Dr. Turi, I like your job. Okay. Give me a thumb up, join my channel because there will be more of those videos in time, God willing. Okay. Until then, God bless all of you. Share my work. Be cautious out there. Okay. Bye-bye.